Husky fans, welcome into episode number 7 of NIU Weekly. A look back at what happened last week and get ready to what's coming up in NIU athletics this week. I'm Andy Garcia. Glad you could join us. And we're going to have a good show today. We're going to talk to Thomas Hammock. Huskies got a big win at Eastern Michigan this past Saturday. And a nice win on the road to gain some confidence. A nice, complete 60-minute game for the Huskies up in Ypsilanti. So they're on the win streak. Try to continue that in Athens this Saturday, taking on the Ohio Bobcats. We'll talk to Coach Hammock about that. But also next week is one of the biggest fundraising events for NIU athletics of the season. And it's the week of giving. Huskies Invest, a week of giving. That is next week. We're going to talk to Nate Olson, the Associate Athletic Director, about what goes into that and why it's so important for Husky fans and donors and supporters to get involved and support NIU student athletes with the week of giving with the Huskies Invest. We're going to talk to Nate Olson about that. Also, basketball season's not too far away. We've got some things coming up. Husky Madness is next week. Exhibitions are just over 10 days away. So we got a lot going on. It's going to be an exciting time. So we're going to talk a little football. We've got Huskies Invest, and we're going to also mention a little basketball. We'll start that off right here, talking men's and women's basketball. Again, some of the fall sports are including soccer and cross country, are starting to get down to the end of their seasons. Women's soccer plays at home this Thursday night. It's senior night. Hopefully you can get out and support them as the team tries to make a run to qualify for the MAC tournament. That is women's soccer. Great turnaround season for Michael O'Neill in his first year at the helm. He's done a great job, and the women's soccer team tries to finish off the season with a couple wins. Senior night coming up on Thursday night. NIU volleyball back on the road for the rest of the month. They're coming off a tough couple of matches at home versus Ball State, but they're still in the mix for the postseason. Head coach Ray Gooden's got the team playing well in a good spot, but they're looking to get back on track this weekend. We'll see them back in Victory Court again in November, but a couple big road matches coming up for NIU volleyball. For men's soccer, they're coming off a Monday win over Chicago State and back home next Tuesday with a big match taking on Bowling Green. And of course, we've talked about football, out getting ready, practicing this week, getting ready to take on the Ohio Bobcats, who are playing pretty well football right now. The Bobcats 4-3 overall, 2-1 in the MAC, and also at home they're undefeated. They're 3-0. Huskies and Bobcats will go at it this Saturday. After this one, NIU plays the next 3 of the last 4 at home. So we're hoping you're getting ready for MACtion, everyone. Hoping you're getting your tickets. We need you to get back out to Husky Stadium after this weekend. Get out there, support the Husky football team back at home for a couple games. So get online, get tickets, NIUHuskies.com. Back up on, coming home, getting some games under their belt. We've been on the road. It's good to get back home. We'll try to wrap it up with a win at Ohio on Saturday. So it's a chance to kind of regroup, get ready. Husky football team's got some confidence, and I know Thomas Hammock is excited to get the team ready and prepared for Ohio. We bring in head football coach Thomas Hammock, and coach, nice 60 minutes of football, full 4 quarters, what we saw on the road up in Ypsilanti, taking on Eastern Michigan, get a nice win. Again, full 60 minutes. A lot of guys played well, and confidence that got back on this squad. Not that they were lacking it, but you get that more confidence, that feel of goodness when you get a win like that on the road.
No, definitely. Just to see the look of the guys on Monday, and then on Tuesday, we probably had our most physical practice of the year, which I wanted them to understand. Listen, this is how you can play. These are the things that you can do. And when all the chips were against you, they rose to the occasion. And now we need to do it for another week.
After looking at the film, what impressed you the most about what you saw on Saturday?
To be honest, what impressed me the most was how the guys celebrated together and how they created energy for each other by the way they played. And that's something that we've talked about. That's something that we pointed out. This is a team game. Play as a team. And if your buddy is having success, celebrate his success, because it'll come back to you and be full circle. And if we can play with that type of effort, that type of energy, that type of enthusiasm, the sky is the limit for our football team.
Offensively, you guys were able to run the football, make plays when you needed to, but really that run game got going early and often.
No, I think the guys ran hard. They were decisive. The guys up front really strained to block, the tight ends working together, the receivers blocking down the field. All those things went hand in hand with the run game. And I think that's something that we can build off of. For weeks now, I've been saying we haven't quite run the ball the way that we did a year ago. And Saturday was a step in the right direction.
What'd you like about the running of Harrison Whaley on Saturday?
Well, he was downhill. He was decisive. He broke tackles. The first play of the game should have been a touchdown. And those are the type of plays where you got to step out of a shoestring tackle. And those are the things we're working on. I mean, if people want to, play press man coverage, if the ball breaks, it's going to be a touchdown. And so just make one guy miss, and you'll have those opportunities all the time.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of those this year, Thomas. Just one shoestring away from some of these big plays going for touchdowns. Harrison Whaley got in a little bit of the wildcat in the Ontario Brown. He looked like another quarterback out there in some of those when he was out there in the wildcat too. He had nice gains, a nice 1-2 punch from the running backs. Even Brown getting some nice runs on Saturday.
No, yeah, I think all three of our guys can run the football with Mason Blakemore, and we got to find the best ways to get those guys opportunities. I think this week is going to be a nice game, but moving forward, it's going to get cold. It's going to be windy. It's going to be a lot of different things. And so the ability to run the football and play defense always travels. And that's where we have to get to that point.
It's fun, Thomas, when you get some of those running backs that you have and they get to the outside, they get to that edge, and you think those defenders, they think they have the angle, and it's just that next, I don't know, shifting. It's just like that next gear that you guys have. And when you guys get out to the outside, it's watch out because the talent takes over, and we saw that on Saturday.
Yeah, from the sideline, watching Harrison's run, I was like, there's no way. I was like, okay, this is going to be a 25-yard gain. And then all of a sudden, he's still running. And so, his speed shows up. Obviously, we have GPS numbers on all these guys, so we know how fast they are. And it's good to see. But, to break long runs, it takes everybody working together. And on Harrison run, Lynch motioned out, and he wound up blocking the last defender that can make the play. And so if we work together as a football team, we can have success.
You talk about, Coach, about whatever it takes to get a win. And we're seeing that on the offensive side with we saw Justin Lynch get the start, but we saw different positions from him and the Wildcat. Is that something we're going to continue to see on the offensive side, whatever it takes to get that next first down, to get that extra yard?
No, we just trying to create advantages and see what every week is going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
But when you look at our team, a guy like Rocky Lombardi, it could have been very easy for him to say, I want to start the football game off.
Yeah.
But you know what? He came in the game in relief and did a nice job in his 18 to 20 snaps. So just that type of unselfishness goes a long way for a football team and how you're trying to build the culture of your program.
Me and you talked about it in the post game, and I mentioned the defensive line, but I probably didn't get enough credit to the linebackers in the secondary because it did take all 11 on the defensive side in each play to get the job done because it helped with the D-line getting pressure. The linebackers did their job, and the secondary controlled the receivers. It really did, hate to say it like it, but it did take all 11 players to see what we saw for the defense.
I think what you see is, when a sack has happened, if it don't happen right away, normally the quarterback could not go to his first read. And so if you can't go to your first read, now you have the ability to create pressure on the quarterback. And by him not having the ability to go to his first read at times allows the defensive line that extra half a second it takes to make sacks. And so we got to play great team defense. Linebackers got to get to the proper drops. DB's got to stay in the hip pocket. And then that gives the D-line a chance to work. Because I do believe our D-line is really, really good up front.
They're playing well, Thomas, the D-line, because we're seeing individual tackles. It's not like, sure, we're getting the half sacks or the half tackles, but guys are making plays one-on-one.
No, I think, up front, we rotate a lot of guys. And the thing that you see is the first string goes in, then the second string comes in and makes plays. So you see James Esther with the interception. Touchdown. You see Devontae O'Malley with 2 sacks. But then you don't see Damon Taylor come in and he knocks the ball down. Cade Haberman in there making tackles, and then our DNs we rotate probably 10 guys on the defensive line, and guys are able to stay fresh, stay healthy, and they stay hungry. And then they're not afraid to knock on your door on Sunday morning and say, "Hey, coach, I got 18 reps. Normally I play 25 reps." Well, they don't understand. Eastern Michigan only had 50 plays the whole game.
Yeah.
So your reps obviously get cut short, but they're competitive and they want to play. And to me, that's what you want as a coach. Yeah. You want somebody to knock on your door and say, "Hey, I didn't get my reps this week." Well, the offense had the ball for almost 40 minutes. So that changes things.
Special teams. And you won that side as well. John Richardson, MAC West Special Teams Player of the Week, 4 field goals. You mentioned it in your presser this week about gaining confidence, not just for this team, but a guy like John Richardson, getting confidence, bringing him in, making him have an opportunity to take those field goals, and he made 4 of them. That's going to be huge moving forward, but you won everything on special teams. You got the fumble recovery, and again, we've talked about a lot, but the phase of that being important. But on Saturday, you just felt like your special teams had the confidence of going out there and making plays, and it was great to see John Richardson win that weekly award, gaining him some confidence as well.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time on special teams and understand that's a major part of the game, a third of the game. And, if we can stay neutral or maybe, win it by a little, that helps the team. And we have to play complementary football at its best. I mean, we're much better together than we are as individuals. And so we try to buy into playing a team game, and special teams is a big part of it.
How about the Bobcats this week? All right, Huskies taking on Ohio on the road. Bobcats 4-3 overall, 2-1 in the MAC. Something that stood out for me, they're 3-0 at home. They played well at home. They're averaging about 33 points per game on the offensive side, coming up a nice win as they beat Western Michigan last week. What's your thoughts as the Bobcats are really on a roll right now?
No, good football team, and led by the quarterback. And they have a great offense. They do what he does well. And then obviously last week they had 6 turnovers against Western. So, we have to protect the ball first and foremost to give ourselves a chance. We can't give them anything cheap. And then we got to play for 4 quarters. I mean, this is a well-coached football team. They play a certain style, and then we have to be able to match that intensity on Saturday.
Curtis Warwick, number 7, their quarterback, 14 touchdown passes, only 3 interceptions. But he also does it with his legs a little bit too, right, Thomas?
Yeah, no, they'll run some speed option. They'll run quarterback draw. You have to honor him on every play. And the thing is, you've seen people around his legs, and he doesn't go down. So he's a big, strong quarterback with a big arm. And so we gotta play again team defense with great energy and urgency, and work together to contain this quarterback.
You mentioned the defense, 6 takeaways last week, 5 interceptions. Do they put a lot of pressure up? Are they blitzing a lot, Thomas? Are they playing just straight up, or what's been their scheme so far? As
know what, they like to move their front a lot. Slant and angle their front. They'll add some blitzers. They want to try to be an attacking and aggressive unit. They got a couple guys back on the back end of their defense last week, and they made plays. So we got a tremendous challenge. We got to work together on offense. We got to protect the football. And then obviously we got to stay normal down in distance so they can't pin their ears back and try to get after the quarterback.
You mentioned it earlier, Thomas, like guys coming in and wanting to get more practice, more playing time, this team being hungry. I just feel like right now your team is very hungry, not just, each practice, each day, but when they get in the games, they're hungry. And I feel that's like a good thing to have at this time of year as you've moved now into conference play, and you're piling up games. You've got 5 games left, but there's still something to be hungry for, and I feel like this team has it right now.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting. I had a couple guys coming to my office this week talking about, I don't want a red shirt. I want to continue to play, and I think those are the type of young men we got in the program. They want to play and feel they can make a difference on our football team. So. Those are some of the tough decisions that we have to make as guys get close to that 4-game mark. What's best for them and what's best for the team. But I'd rather a kid say, "Hey, I want to play," than say, "Hey, I want a red shirt." So we got talented players that do have a hunger, that do have an edge. And the one thing I would say is, I don't believe we were complacent this season. I just believe we didn't make a couple plays. If we just make one or two different plays a game, but the worth ethic, the mentality, the fight, all those things were there. We just needed to do it at a more consistent level.
Sounds good, Coach. I appreciate the time, and I'll see you on the sidelines on Saturday in Athens, Ohio.
Appreciate it. Go Huskies.
Well, as Thomas Hammock and the football team get ready for Ohio this weekend, Huskies, the staff, and then NIU Athletics getting ready for Huskies Invest, the week of giving coming up next week. And we're joined by Nate Olson, Associate Athletic Director for Development. And Nate, it's great to have you on NIU Weekly. And you've been now with us, 6 months? How's the life been getting used to getting ready and being here at NIU and DeKalb? And how's the job been so far?
Yeah, that's right. It's been about 6 months. I joined the team here at the end of March. Came from warm, sunny California. So this has been a little bit of an adjustment for me, I have to admit. But I'm a Minnesota guy at the end of the day. So excited to be back closer to home and be back with a great group of people here with the Huskies.
Now, let's get into it, Nate. And let's tell people exactly what Huskies Invest is. When does it start? So give us a little bit of that.
Huskies Invest is our annual week of giving. This year it takes place from Monday, October 24th through Friday, October 28th. And it's really just an opportunity for folks to be philanthropic. A lot of what we do with the Husky Athletic Fund is transactional when you think about making a gift to get your parking on game day, making a gift to get access to this hospitality area, that hospitality area. Huskies Invest provides more of an opportunity to support the cause for the love of the cause and for the love of NIU athletics and the university. So it's a little different in that way.
What are some of the different areas that people can support?
There's a lot of different areas you can support. You can make a gift to every one of our varsity sports. You can make a gift to the Silverettes, to the marching band, to NIU Rec. There are tons of different opportunities and places that you can make an impact.
And that's opened up, right? It's a nice opportunity. We hear about the sports programs, but again, marching band and NIU recreation, where maybe we don't hear all about that, Nate, but it's helpful that fans and supporters can help in that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And because we're all under the same umbrella within our organization, we all work together to move forward and make an impact on both sides of the coin, so to speak. So we're definitely pleased to be able to include rec and marching band and everybody in this year's Huskies Invest.
So Nate, how do the student athletes benefit from Huskies Invest?
All of the money that we raise through Huskies Invest goes to the student athletes and their different programs, whether it's helping to supplement some operating budgets. If a team needs some new gear, we're able to help the teams get some new gear, or if they need more funds for travel so that they can stay at a little bit nicer hotel, they can get a little bit more per diem while they're on the road so they can fuel up and be ready. There's a lot of different ways that it impacts our student athletes, but at the end of the day, it all goes right back to them.
And it's been such a huge success over the last 5 years. More than $2.3 million has been given in support of the NIU student athletes. And it really is shown each and every day with the student athletes. It helps them. And that's a huge chunk of change. It also shows just how much support the NIU community has given to Huskies Invest.
Absolutely. It shows the level of commitment and the level of pride that NIU alum and fans and donors all have. So it's been fantastic to see year over year.
So how do people get involved, Nate? How can people get involved, donate to Huskies Invest this year?
The easiest way to get involved would be to make a gift online. We have a special website set up that has a menu of all the different places you can make a gift. That is niuhuskies.com/HuskiesInvest 2022. So if you go on there, you can see all the different places you can make a gift. If you follow us on any social media channels, you'll see some activations throughout the course of next week. That'll give you some further direction. And if you want to call us too, we're open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. 815-753-1923 is our line, so you can call in and make a donation too.
I'll let you have the last word, Nate, because you see it in first person, and I see a little bit interacting with the NIU student athletes. Again, the money goes straight to them. And then you mentioned you can do it to any program, marching band, NIU recreation, the different programs. Why is it so important this time of year, this week, Nate, that we should donate?
I like to think of it as the week for people to donate. If somebody needs something to rally around to get involved, if somebody needs a special piece of outreach from somebody at the athletic department, this is the time. This is when you're going to see it. This is when you're going to get it. So this is really one of our most crucial weeks of the entire year when it comes to fundraising. And it's really important to get as much participation as we can throughout the course of Huskies Invest.
That's great, Nate. Again, it's the 24th to the 28th, and a lot of this information is online to NIUHuskies.com. Nate, we appreciate the time, and I hope there's tons of support, and I hope that the numbers are through the roof this year for Huskies Invest.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Andy.
Thanks to Nate Olson for coming on. Huskies Invest and supporting NIU student athletes. It really is a great effort. Hopefully everyone can participate. Is a huge fundraising event for NIU athletics. And I have the opportunity each and every day to interact with different student athletes. And I see what all this means and what this does for the experience for the student athletes here at NIU. It is huge, and they're certainly deserving of the support that comes with this. So it's going to be a big week next week with Huskies Invest, a week of giving. I mentioned basketball is coming up fast. It's going to be an exciting season at the Convocation Center. There's still time to get NIU men's and women's basketball season tickets. Got to get them now. On sale at NIUHuskies.com. Season ticket pricing for men's basketball starts as little as $80 for all 12 regular season home games. Get women's basketball tickets for as little as $35 to see the team 13 times this season. Check out the season ticket combo packages with discounts available for football or volleyball season ticket members, as well as the NIU faculty and staff, varsity club, alumni association, and senior citizens. Call 815-753-PACK. That is 815-753-7225, or anytime purchase NIUHuskies.com/tickets. Really excited about both teams going into the 2022-2023 season. The men are really looking good in practice. The women, Shelby Coker is back. I really like the chemistry on the team on the women's side as well. So we're expecting some nice seasons from both squads. Hopefully we'll be out there to see it. We mentioned some of the exhibitions coming up. You can see this team starting on Saturday, October 29th. The NIU women's team is taking on Loras College at 1 p.m. Central Time in an exhibition. The men's team, Rashawn Burno's second season, they play their exhibition coming up against McKendree on Halloween night at 7 p.m. So take the kids out trick-or-treating early and then head out to the combo for some NIU men's basketball. Before that, though, Husky Madness for NIU men's and women's basketball. It's going to be a great night. Live performances by NIU grads, Adam Wilson and OG Stevo, along with other DJs, giveaways, contests, and more. Meet both NIU basketball teams and see them participate on on-court competitions in the NIU Convocation Center. Mark your calendars again. That's Thursday night, October 27th, beginning at 6 p.m. The event is free for NIU students and season ticket members, only $10 for all others. So that's not bad, right? That's not too bad for Husky Madness coming up on October 27th. Again, get tickets at NIUHuskies.com/tickets or by calling 815-753-PACK. We appreciate Thomas Hammock and Nate Olson for joining us this week on the show. Special thanks to Kevin Meyer and Donna Turner for helping me out with the show each and every week. Don't forget, subscribe, like this NIU Athletics YouTube page right here. And we have different highlights, everything each week. Always look back, always come every day and see what's new right here on the YouTube page, NIU Athletics. Hopefully these programs can get some wins. Hopefully football can continue a win streak at Ohio this Saturday. We'll talk about it next week on NIU Weekly. Have a great weekend. Hopefully Husky programs get some wins. And until then, go Huskies.